Accept the things you cannot change, have the courage to change the things you can, and know the wisdom to tell the difference. These are the words that inspired a young Barry Allen, whom had just lost his mother, to become one of the greatest superheroes the DC Universe has ever seen. The Flash, an upstanding member of society, one of the greatest superheroes alive, part of the Justice League, being another evil plot to take over the world and for the Reversed Flash to destroy everything. Once again, the threat was thwarted and everything seemed to move perfectly fine. And then you wake up and it's time for another day of being a superhero, of being who you're meant to be. The world's in Armageddon, and it's your job to stop it. Except you can't. Barry can't stop it. As a matter of fact, his powers don't seem to be working at all. And even stranger, it seems his mother is alive and very well. It's her birthday, in fact. Barry is highly confused at this point as to why his mother is alive and well, and things just seem to be different. Even Batman in this world is a far cry from what is usually being shown, throwing people off of buildings, having an absolute disregard for the life and well-being of others. It's very strange for Batman, and he's been approached by Cyborg to apparently form a team because the Justice League doesn't exist in this world, and, well, there is a fairly good reason for that. The entire world is in turmoil. It is a world war everywhere. Everything is just wrong with this world. The Flash isn't a superhero. The world is at constant war. Superman doesn't land in Metropolis. He happens to land in the middle of a city where he is taken away to be experimented on and changed by the government. Wonder Woman and Aquaman form a temporary partnership, which leads to the two of them sleeping together and Aquaman cheating on his wife, Mera, the Queen of the Ocean, which happens to lead to her and Diana getting into quite a bit of a spat. And this does not end well. It spells almost the end for this world when Wonder Woman kills Mera, because Aquaman feels as though he needs to go to war, even though he cheated on his wife. And even more disturbing, Bruce Wayne died that night in the alley. Not Thomas Wayne and Martha, Bruce Wayne died, and it led to the creation of the Batman and the Joker. In another fell swoop, Green Lantern never got the ring from Abin Sur. Instead, he was just a pilot who was given a goal to go blow up the Atlantean ship, and he gets eaten alive and killed. So Hal Jordan never becomes the Green Lantern. Wonder Woman ends up killing the man that she is supposed to love in Steve Trevor in a very brutal fashion, hanging him by her lasso. Wonder Woman is nothing short of a tyrant in this world, killing indiscriminately and not really caring who she harms. And to make it all even worse, Aquaman holds a literal living weapon, Captain Atom, and he has him set and rigged to explode and destroy the entire world at his button press. And so Barry is learning all of this and trying to figure out how to stop it. And so he goes to see Batman. But of course, as we know, this isn't Bruce, this is Thomas Wayne. And Thomas doesn't exactly take too kindly to Barry breaking into his home. The two have a little spat, and when Barry starts to have more visions of what the world is like, he starts trying to convince Thomas Wayne that he is the Flash, only to find he has the Reverse Flash's costume. But to prove it even further, he tries to enact the exact same experiment that made him the Flash to turn him into the Flash again, except it goes horrifically wrong. He is burnt to a crisp, and Thomas Wayne is barely able to keep Barry alive. Barely. But this doesn't deter Barry one bit. He decides he needs to try again, because otherwise this world is doomed. He knows he can fix it if he runs fast enough. And so when he does get this power, he starts by doing the one thing a hero should always do, saving a life. He saves Thomas Wayne's life. And he's healing. He's going to be okay. And the first thing that Barry thinks to do is to run as fast as he can, to go back in time and stop Eobard Thawne from messing with the timeline, believing that it is truly Eobard's fault for what is going on and what has happened in this world. But he can't. He falls and he fails. He believes that the Speed Force is being constricted by Eobard Thawne and his negative Speed Force. And there's only one way to fix it, and that's to take down Eobard. But in order to do so, Barry has to find somebody to help him fight through this war-torn world. So when he teams up with Cyborg, they go looking for Superman. And what they find is a government lab filled with genetic experiments. And Superman is locked away in this gigantic cage from the government. They've been experimenting on him, keeping away from sunlight. He's frail, weak, and scared. So very scared. And when they eventually break him out, they're almost at a loss to know what to do. Barry is out of commission as of right now, and when he wakes up, he tries to rally the troops.
All of us have powers, skills, and abilities. Where I come from, heroes use those powers to fight to make the world a better place, whether it's their world or not.
And with that, Barry is able to get everybody to try and rally around him, and they go, and when they get there, it's a war zone. The one place they believe Eobard Thawne to be is ground zero for the war between the Themyscirans and the Atlanteans. Aquaman and Wonder Woman are fighting each other over something selfish, because Aquaman wanted to cheat on his wife, and in response, Diana killed Aquaman's wife. Two selfish acts led to the destruction of an entire world. Hell, Captain Atom tries to step in to at least help divert attention, as they're all trying to stop the world from being destroyed between the Amazons and the Atlanteans. Even Batman, one of the most selfish characters in this entire story, is trying to do better. But it doesn't really matter. No matter how much they do, the Reverse Flash is there to ensure it gets worse. And so Barry, with his attention diverted and Batman gravely injured, decides to race Eobard. And when that's happening, everything goes to hell in a handbasket. People just start dying left and right. This isn't a world full of heroes where everything is going to end well and everything is going to go good. People are going to die. People are going to get hurt. Nobody is walking away from this unscathed. Even Cyborg is nearly going to die. And all of this because Eobard Thawne messed with the timeline, right? At least that's what Flash believes.
Barry, that's the beauty of all this. I didn't do any of it. You did. Break the sound barrier and there's a sonic boom. You broke the time barrier, Flash. Time boom. Ripples of distortion radiated out through that point of impact, shifting everything just a tiny bit, but enough. You didn't stop JFK from getting assassinated, or make sure Hitler stayed in art school. You saved your mommy. You missed her. And in a supreme act of selfishness, turned the world into a living hell moments away from destruction.
So Flash made the ultimate selfish decision. On the day of his mom's death, he went back in time and saved her. And in the process, he doomed this entire world to destruction. He is the reason that all of this has happened. Not Eobard Thawne, Not Wonder Woman, not Aquaman. They may all act selfishly, but it was Barry who, in the end, made the most selfish decision he could possibly make. And in return, he ruined the entire timeline. He put everybody at risk and nearly killed everyone. And it took, in the end, one unselfish act is what saves this world. It's what saves everybody. Thomas Wayne has been nothing but a prick this entire movie, thinking of only himself, drinking on the job, running casinos. But in the end, when it truly mattered, he sacrificed his universe and his own life so that maybe his son Bruce could live. And as this world is slowly erased, Flash finally gets the motivation he needs to run. He feels like he can finally get back to save the universe, to stop himself from making the most selfish decision he's ever made. The Speed Force finally allows him to go fast enough to travel back in time. And when he does, he sees the new world being emerged at the end. He's able to run towards himself, and he is able to finally rectify his selfish decision. Because in the end, one selfish decision changed everything. Barry had forgotten what he was, what he stood for, a hero of unselfishness. But when he makes that unselfish choice, he is rewarded. Not only does he wake up back in a world that is no longer facing Armageddon, he remembers everything. He remembers every birthday he spent with his mother. He remembers every single moment he had with his mom. It was the universe's gift for Barry making the ultimate sacrifice once again. And not everything will be the same anymore. Things look different. People act different. But it's close enough to what it once was. And maybe something different isn't always something bad. I just want to take the time to thank all of you for watching this video. I love making videos. This one was a little bit challenging. Hopefully the filters aren't too crazy, but if you'd love to see my content unedited, a day early, and if you'd just like to support me as a content creator to keep making these videos, I have a Patreon link down in the description. If not, that's completely fine, and I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day.